Hi, welcome back to BReaL. I'm Keara Bennett.
And Caitlin Beevers.
And today we're joined by Georgia Hale, also known as Gail. Welcome, Gail.
Thank you very much for having me.
So thank you for coming on. And we're going to start with a bit of an introduction to you and your playing career. So you started just playing out at touch or tag.
Yep.
Started rugby league itself at 18 years old, selected for the Kiwi Ferns in 2014, international debut 2015, vice captain for the Kiwi Ferns 2017 World Cup 9 2019 winner. So subject is that I was there. And the Golden Boot winner in 2023.
Oh, thank you.
Some accolades there.
Yes. Oh, thank you. No, it's nice. I think it's nice to look back and kind of cast over what I've done over the last few years, and it's given me the opportunity to meet you too. So Thank you for having me.
So talking about Casanova, how would you explain your rugby league journey?
Well, it actually started not so much on the footy field. My brother played rugby league and down at our local club, and I was seen in a netball skirt carrying a punt of the chips, cheering him on a Saturday morning. And then on a Sunday arvo, then would be at Mount Smart, which is home of the Vodafone Warriors back in New Zealand, cheering them on. So although I didn't play rugby league till I turned 18, it was very much a part of, I think, my upbringing, footy fanatic family, which is nice. And then from connections, playing touch, tag, schoolgirls rugby, and just being around some of the older girls, they kind of dragged me down to a pre-season. And a little white lie was told on this story. I was playing netball quite competitively, and that's kind of where my mum thought I was spending most of my time. But I'd said to Dad, can you please take me down over to Greyland Park? I want to give rugby league a go. And he frothed, so that was our thing. We'd go Tuesday, Thursday. He'd drive me over the bridge and would do the pre-season trainings. And Mum thought, oh, God, this netball's really ramping up. She's
What position did you play?
For netball?
Yeah.
Oh, centre.
Okay.
So she was like, gosh, she's verging on silver ferns here. With all these trainings. So then I was just over the rugby league trainings, and then we had a game coming up after pre-season. I was like, all right, I think this is the time to break the news to Mum. Haven't been at netball as much as you thought, and I've been training with rugby league, and would you mind coming to my first game on Sunday? So she came. She was a bit timid, a little bit sat back, but yeah, I got through the game all right. The bigger girls looked after me, and yeah, that's where my rugby league journey started.
Wow.
Lying to my mum.
How did she take it?
Well, I mean, she probably had her suspicions, to be fair, but she was quite big on netball. And I think just in the era, I mean, it's not that long ago, but when I grew up, rugby league wasn't a thing for girls. Wasn't even an option. When I went down and watched my brother play, there weren't girls in sight. Yeah. I think girls started playing at 18. So, it was kind of just that stereotype. You play with the women, you drink up after, you have your boat races. So I think, once she came down, once she watched, she saw I was in a safe place and well looked after. And I think just seeing the love I had for the game, then she fell in love with it too.
Oh,
so basically that's where you got great at seeing off a drink.
Yeah. Do love a beer.
Yeah, we've all seen it.
We know.
Balance, ladies.
So obviously at Leeds we really thrive on culture, and obviously women's rugby league is all about culture and bringing everyone together, especially females. Obviously, what does culture mean to you, especially coming from New Zealand? How has that really impacted rugby league for you and just you as a person, I guess? Yeah,
that's such a good question. I think culture kind of is stems from when you look at a team, how they operate, what they pride themselves on. I think that word really sums it up. And for the teams that I've been fortunate to be a part of, I think the cultures looked really different. But one unique thing, I think, coming from New Zealand is the emphasis on probably just looking back at roots. And although I'm not of Māori heritage and we are surrounded by a lot of our Pacifica sisters, I think it's just been really nice to rub shoulders and learn off the culture of the country that I was born and raised. So when we come into camp, we say, we always have a feed, a kai. We'd always sing a song, a waiata before we play. We always perform the haka. Yeah. And I think just those little things is a nice kind of stemming point of, where our culture breeds from. But I think then in reflection, I've been over here, I've been to Australia, and although our New Zealand culture is really thick and fluid, I think it's really nice that culture is just more so the people and what you create and what you want to be, what you wanted to aspire to, and what you want to achieve. And it's just been nice. And I've been so fortunate to be amongst many good, successful, loving, warm, welcoming cultures in my career so far.
Oh, that's really nice.
What were the feelings of doing the haka for the first time? Obviously being born and raised.
Well, we say I'm the only Balangi, I'm the only Pakeha, I'm the only white girl, so I'm always in like the back left corner, so you can't see me on telly. But no, we always have, like, the girls are always so welcoming, and just like the embrace and the immersion that we have in camp. So it's nice. We did a lot of prep work. We do a lot of kapa haka, which is like our practice for performing the haka. But I think I was probably more so nervous for that. Like, we're in the sheds and, we think footy and we're all there doing it. Going over the words. So, no, it was cool. But it's hard to explain. It's just gives you a buzz and such an adrenaline rush that a warm-up will never do for you. So it's a really nice feeling to run out, on kickoff after.
Nice.
No, 100%. I bet.
So obviously you've demonstrated that on multiple occasions, playing in World Cups, touring, Test series. How do you cope with the touring format for a start?
I like it. I love being in camp, like whether we're at home or on the road. I just love being around the girls. I mean, you don't have to do your washing, you don't have to cook. Your bed gets made every morning. And it's nice. Don't have to wait on Sam hand and foot. But no, I think I just love being around it. We are not full-time professional athletes. We would love to think we are, and we're in arm's reach of that. But it's really nice to just like be immersed in that for a whole week, to feel what it would be like going to work every day with your boots in one hand, your runners in the other, training at 10 a.m, not 8 p.m. or, whatever crazy hours. So I think it's a bit of a luxury when we get to do that. And it's nice to think that it's in the near future for us all. But I'm sure you girls can agree. You on camp, you play cards and you have sing-alongs and you've got the boom box going. I think it's all the in-between stuff. Yes, we're there to train and be professional and gym and top up and things, but I think it's the time in between all of that.
What's your favourite thing you've done in between? Mine's probably learning how to line dance.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah.
Well, that's news to me.
You're like, where were these?
Where were I?
You were probably in your room, but we always pick up like dance routines and stuff.
That's good.
That's my favourite kind of vibe.
Every time we're in camp, she's always doing karaoke, like screaming off the top of her lungs.
You know me.
Met her on the dance.
Always. I think they're going to miss the dance around the changing room.
No, it is good. I think, the games and the songs. We usually do like puzzles and things. So we've got like the introverts and the extroverts, and I like bouncing between the two.
Oh, that brings me back to being on the bus, and we used to play that game, and it made me mad. Do you know which one I'm on about?
Which one? Was it a word game?
Yeah, it was a word game. And it was like you describe something. Oh, I don't know.
Oh, and you got to get on the same page?
Yeah, you got to get on the same page.
Yes.
Yeah, that was...
We should have done a practice. But yes, games like that.
No, yeah.
Would you say, obviously, from your experience saying, like, you were selected for the Kiwi Ferns in 2014, from then to now, would you say that the progression has just rocketed?
Yeah, massively. And I think it's been such a pleasure and a privilege to be a part of an era like that. When I first came in 2014, I was really actually thankful I was 18th man to kind of come into this new environment. Just kind of sit back, you still prep like you do, you still warm up on game day, but I just don't think at that point I was ready to take the field. So I was thankful for my debut the following year. But the first camp we went on, we all stayed in one room, and like looking back on it, was such fun. We stayed in 3-story bunks. All the girls were shared the same space. It was just like we were on school camp. We paid our way. We'd done some fundraising. Yeah. So I think I saw like signs of how the girls, the true trailblazers before us, how they did it, to then come into a time where I think 2017 World Cup was a real pivotal time on that, just in terms of like really stepping up. I remember Harvey Norman came on board, a little bit of money was thrown behind things, competitions were revving up. So to see that change, and then to see now multi-year contracts, girls are almost taking this as a full-time profession. So it's been nice to see the wave, but I think the most important thing on that is always to look back before we move forward, because we're not in the position we're in now without appreciating what's been done before. And I think as long as we constantly do that, then the game's always going to be in a better place.
100%. We definitely wouldn't be where we are without the pioneers before us.
That's it.
So moving on to like captaincy, obviously like knowing you, I think like you're a very good leader and everything. What did you always see yourself being a leader, like priding yourself on them values kind of thing?
maybe not like jumping at the role.
Mhm.
I think maybe on leadership more naturally finding you.
Yeah.
And I mean, yes, captaincy or vice captaincy, it's a title you carry, or being in a leadership group.
Yeah.
But I think regardless of the title, I was still going to try and be a leader in my own way, whether that's through walk or talk or, attributes or values. So it's been nice to have those titles now that I can fulfill a role in, but I think it hasn't really changed anything that I was doing prior to that. But it is a great honour. And, one thing I really love about being in a role now like that is empowering other leaders to lead. And I think everyone's a leader in their own way. Even our quieter girls or our younger girls, they'll have something that, they can teach us older ones on now. So I think, that's the biggest thing with leadership is the empowering our other leaders to lead.
I think that's what we saw you demonstrate when you came to Leeds. You weren't in that position, but I know that a lot of the younger girls massively benefited from having you around, just having you talk and stuff like that. And not even just the younger ones, like me and Keara definitely benefited from it.
Oh, thank
100%.
you.
How does the management side of people, does that put extra pressure on you? How does that affect your prep and stuff in a game?
I don't know if it really affects me, because I think I would hope that I've always been quite mindful in that sense. We all prep differently. We all need different attention or time away, or quiet, noise, and ear, shoulder, whatever it might be. So I think it's nice to be able to give that. And it's also, you're in a really good position too if you can't give something to someone else, but you allow someone else to do that for them, and we kind of just work. I think that's what sisterhood is about. If one sister can't be that, maybe someone else can step in and do that. Maybe one of our sisters needs space. And I think it's just getting to know our players, not just for them as they are on the footy field, but equally as friends off the footy field too.
100%.
Yeah, and I think that comes into these little groups that we were talking about just before coming on here, that we have those little times away. We've just been away on a retreat with Leeds, and I said to you, on the walk, you just talk rubbish to each other, but it's valuable rubbish. You talk about your job, you talk about your family, you talk about your dog, and it's all just rubbish, but that gives me a better insight to someone else's life and what they may be going through. As well. So we've covered the debuts, the World Cups, just everything like that. How do you cope with a defeat?
Oh, bit of a salty little. We all can be. And I think it's good too, because, a loss, it's hard to take. And I've experienced a lot of them, to be fair, more losses than wins. So I think over time I've got better with handling it. But I just see it more so that we invest so much. We're so passionate. We've dedicated so much time and sacrifice. You really take that, don't you? Because we're all chasing a win. And sometimes even our losses, we fall just slightly short. So we know we're only an arm's reach away from being in a better position. But I think the biggest thing is more so the journey to then look forward. And, you're that feeling you don't want to be in that same position again. So, losses are part of the game, isn't it? We just, I think they make you more hungry for the wins.
Absolutely.
100%. So outside of rugby, you work within the community. Do you want to kind of tell us about what you do, what that role
Which country?
Yes, both, absolutely.
Mrs. Worldwide. No. So here, I represent the Rhinos Foundation, which I love. It just allows me to do some community work here. It's actually helped with my geography, learning the lay of the land.
In Horsforth.
Sorry, we're going to have to cut this, got a cough. But no, it's been really nice. Even just getting to know the way the British kind of culture works and all the young kids. So that's been cool, really rewarding. Back home, I do a lot of disability support work.
Yeah.
And both roles, whether I'm here or there, it just ties nicely into footy. I think, there's elements of the game in both of those roles. So as much as footy's given me, and now I'm in an opportunity to give back, and I think that's done in the community.
And with you saying the comparison between them both, what have you found to be the biggest differences?
Probably language. Well, no, when I'm here, we all speak English, but there's a lot of slang,
bit of chappiness,
words I've never heard of. You guys have taught me a lot, and then back home, it's then refamiliarizing myself with those environments. But no, I think it's just I'm in a really privileged position to be able to work and play, and many countries across the world. So very grateful.
So covering your time away, obviously being in England, how do you find the distance between obviously being away from your family?
Yeah, that's a big one for me. I have Sam, who's a great backbone of support, but for us both, it's just nice to pick up a phone call, or like on a Sunday when you don't feel like cooking and you just hoon round to mum's and she's got a spread on the table. But I've adjusted and I've adapted, and I think it's helped build some resilience in me. I think it just, not ever that I took it for granted, but when I was home and it's just a phone call and you're having dinner at the same time, or, it's a short flight back to be back in the family house or whatever it might be, I just now, really appreciate that any and all time that I get back on that side of the world. But in saying that too, when you start somewhere else and you kind of set up roots, it's nice to then form families away and abroad. And although when you're not connected by blood, you're connected by banter or or booze, I don't know any. But no, it's been nice to find some new sisters and friends and form some great companionship. So, and you too mainly.
So sweet.
No, it's been nice.
Love you, girl. Anyway, finally, I really want to talk about the Golden Boot win. Okay, this is absolutely out of this world.
No shock at all.
No, what was it, missing 5 tackles and you've still not been happy with that? Let's talk about the perfectionist within you. What did it feel like to win that? Obviously being compared to everyone in the world winning that.
Yeah, that was huge, I think, in itself. I mean, I really enjoyed my year of footy, and I think sometimes when you enjoy it, it's a measure of what you've put in and what you've got out. So that was a huge plus. But yeah, it was just really nice to be in a successful environment too. Our Titans girls, we went from wood spoon to grand final. Our Kiwi Ferns girls, we hadn't won a game since 2016 against the Jillaroos. So that was a nice feeling. And I mean, this, was just, I was taken by surprise. You don't play, and you girls will know we don't play a team sport to chase things like this. I want a premiership, I want a grand final win, and that's what we're after. But I think this was a really proud moment to just, I think, thank my family for all that they've sacrificed to allow me to be in the position I am. I represent my country, a proud Kiwi girl. So it was a very special moment. And I think, I haven't been home since, so it'll be nice to kind of be back with my family and share that with them as well.
The grand final there, I know it'll be a sore subject, but what a game from an impartial to watch. It was fantastic.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was I think looking at the start of the season to the end and we really put ourselves in that position, and that was a really rewarding feeling. But when you've come, when you came so short to something and it's an arm's reach, you can smell it, you can feel it, you just want to grab grip, I think then it gives you a kick and fire in the belly for what's to come, and that's why we keep turning up, don't we, to pre-seasons, to Hurt Locker, to fighting demons, is because those wins are just worth it all. So I look forward to that.
So what is next?
Ooh. Well, heading back to Horsforth. No, I'm going to be here for a bit. I'm here till the end of May. Yeah. So I'm going to be, number one supporter to Sam, which is nice. And then I'll make my way back to the Gold Coast. Yeah. Another season under my belt with the Titans girls, and then hopefully some international footy before heading back to Leeds. So, it's really nice to be sharing my year between, two parts of the world on completely different sides. So I look forward to what's to come.
Yeah, me too. Can't wait to watch her.
Thank you.
How is the rugby relationship between you and Sam? I bet some days it can be tough.
It is so funny. Although I love that we chase the same journey. We're kind of on the same path. We do it in our own way, that's for sure. I don't critique him. He doesn't critique me, wouldn't dare. But,
what is this critique?
But no, we're not really a footy household, to be fair. I'll watch every game possible. I'll have 8 NRL games on over the weekend. Yeah. Sam won't want a bar of it. So I do like it for that. I like it that it's my thing, and I don't bother him too much with it. But I think the best part is being in the stands watching him, on the weekend just gone. That was really nice, being here for the kickoff of the season, and he returned to watch my grand final. So it's those moments. But in terms of analysis, we don't do any huddle. We just leave that for when you're at training. So that's also nice too.
So as I mentioned in the introduction, it's still a bit sore to me now when the Kiwis won the World Cup Nines in 2019. And not just that, you made the team of the tournament, didn't you?
That seems like so long ago.
It was. I think that was my first tour. My second tour.
Yeah.
I was only a baby.
Yeah,
But
over in Aussie, in Parramatta Stadium.
I remember we'd won the grand final and you literally had to go.
it was my birthday.
And get on the plane literally like the day after.
Yeah, 4 o'clock. I had to be in bed on my 18th birthday for 7 o'clock to fly to Oz.
24 hours of flying.
Yeah, it was such a dream.
Brutal. But did you enjoy it?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was. That's our first exposure to Nines. So that we've, apart because Nines has now been incorporated into the Women's Super League, which is that just purely because of that reason. We went and we totally underestimated the competition and
it's fast,
what
isn't
it's
it?
about. Yeah. So.
And the heat too. I think at that stadium was quite new, but it really seemed to hold everything. And it was a long weekend.
Yeah.
And we play footy and we get on the field, we like exert ourselves, we get off and we refresh. But to then go that tournament mode when you're on, off,
Yes.
it was pretty brutal.
So how did it feel winning it?
Oh, it was a nice feeling. We always have that arch rivalry with the Gillaroos. And so to get that win was nice. It was by the wire too. I think it was a close score in the end. But yeah, obviously on their home soil, we were really looking to try and do it again in the test match the following week. We're like, look, we'll take the 9s, we'll reassess, we'll go again. Yeah. But yeah, it's they're so close to us and we see the girls all the time and now we play NRLW together. But when they wear green and gold, it's just something else about them. Don't even see them.
No friends.
It's just the colours. So no, that was a nice feeling. I'm not sure if they're going to do another one though. It's probably
I hope so. It was brilliant. Like first time in Australia, obviously that stadium was absolutely massive. And it was just a nice way to get the countries together. I hope for more. Because I think there was only four of us, wasn't there?
Yeah, there weren't many for the women's, but I think now where the game is, they'll probably get a few more teams.
Absolutely, yeah.
How long did you celebrate for after that then? Week?
Oh, I think it was just the night.
Oh, was it?
Very tame. But because then we had the test match the following.
Yeah, okay, fair.
And our coach at the time, he was quite big on winning the test match. I think the 9s was just a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Leading it, it was a bit of fun. So he was like,
here
we go. You're in, girls.
We've arrived.
But yeah, the test match after, I mean, even the bounce back from the tournament to that was a big week in itself. So the celebrations were short, but taking the trophy back to New Zealand was a nice feeling.
Oh, that's nice.
So you've mentioned obviously beating the Aussies last year.
Yep.
In the 2022 in the 2021 World Cup series.
2020. Yes.
Yeah. It was a delayed year, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
How was that? Was that the first?
But the recent one that we've just our Pacific Nations. No, that was a nice feeling. We'd been in a drought really. Like we'd had the opportunity to play each other so many times. Some games were close, others were a bit more of a margin. But, there was just a different kind of feel in the air that day. We'd welcomed in a new wave of Kiwi ferns, so there was a lot of girls that kind of didn't have a full understanding of the history, which I think was a nice thing because sometimes it can psych you a little bit out, when you've been battling, for us, this test match, it's like we've been playing it over and over and again. So these new girls come in and then just like unleash, and it was, it was a game. It was hot, no surprises being an Aussie, but it was intense. Again, small margin, but yes, no better feeling than beating the Aussies on Aussie soil.
How does the internationals work for you in terms of like, obviously over here we get to meet and train like every other weekend or whatever, that works for us, but obviously you're in Australia or whatever doing the NRL. What's that like for New Zealand? Yeah,
it's a bit different. When we're under NRLW umbrellas, we kind of just looked after in those areas, and then we meet back for camps every now and then.
Okay.
But the connection is more from New Zealand Rugby League, the Kiwi Ferns, through the clubs to the players without as much direct FaceTime. They're just really mindful of the load, and to be adding camps and things in the mix of an NRLW season would be quite heavy.
If you was to have dinner with someone from the past and present, who would it be? 3 people.
3 people. How many are dead?
You could totally up to you.
Why as well?
Okay, Tupac would be on there. Iconic.
Okay.
Yeah, love his music. He would be number 1. Maybe like a Luke Combs.
Oh yeah,
love a bit of Luke Combs.
See, country
he
girl.
Could just be staring.
Country girl again.
And like Zach Bryan. I think I'd just have music.
They'll all outdo
Or
each
my
other.
3-course meal, they can all
Yeah.
be singing.
Yeah.
Poor Tupac, he'll feel well out of place there. They're all playing countries that I don't know I can contribute to this.
Leave chat.
New album coming out just because of you.
Yeah.
They're going to call it Gail's dinner party.
There's the day list.
Right, you win £10 million on the
Ooh.
lottery. What's your first investment? What's the first thing you're spending?
Oh, it'd be a charity. It'd be a charity and a
Oh.
house, like a house for my parents, I think.
Oh,
Something
That
nice.
is so
£10
cute.
million is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Do the nice
true.
things first and then do a bit
And then
lavish.
hoard it.
I'd definitely get a new bumper for car.
Oh,
No, mate, you're getting a new car. I'll even take the money from you and buy you one. Like, I'm not being funny. You're not getting a bumper. You're getting a new one.
Okay, thanks.
hopefully this podcast takes off.
Then she will be like this without money. Right, you get stranded on a desert island.
Oh,
You're taking 2 things with you.
I thought you were going to say 2 people when I was like, Sam, probably one. 2 things. Oh, goodness. A bit of flint, something to make a fire, I'd say.
Okay.
Probably a tarpaulin. You know what a tarpaulin is?
No.
Like a big bit of material that you make it like a tent.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
right, okay.
Yeah.
Tarpaulin.
Tarpaulin.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like tarps.
Tarps.
Yeah, okay. That's very resourceful. I was
Yeah.
thinking like a Vaseline.
Yeah.
Bit of sunblock.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not getting burnt out there.
I'd shrivel away.
Or a protein bar. Smuggling him in.
Fun.
Yeah, come and pick me up, please. I'm stranded.
Wi-Fi.
You're on Wi-Fi box.
I just want to end it on something fun. Okay, we've talked about a lot of good things. Okay, so we're going to do this like little question, quick fire answer. Okay,
Yes.
right. So, if you had a movie made about you and your life,
Ooh.
what would the title be?
Oh, I don't even know. Goodness. Oh, Gail.
Oh, Gail.
I don't know. What do you think it would be?
Gail in a cowgirl rugby era.
Oh, I like that. That's like the Spotify stuff.
Oh my God, the day list is my
The
favourite
day
part of the day. Honestly.
Thank you. There we go. We'll let the guys know they can start making it.
Yes, in about 5 years, Gail will have a movie about her.
Okay,
and
there we
I've
go.
got that.
Thank you, Keara.
And that's all because of this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Winbest get some commission.
I could
So
do with a new
fun.
car, let's be honest.
Held together by team.
Let's not talk about that today. What would you think it would be?
I don't know really. It's definitely something, I don't know, it depends how serious you want it, doesn't it?
Crazy Kiwi.
Crazy Kiwi.
Oh,
yeah.
I think that's quite representative.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe and write in the comments.
No, seriously, like, thank you for joining us.
Oh, no, it was honestly so nice. Nice to have a chat, but with special friends. So thank you for having me on.
No, thank you for coming.
Be real.
Over and out.